Hi and welcome back for this new video. So on this video I'm going to show you the difference between code that just works and code that is actually built to last. To offend beginners most focused only on making things that just works, but they ignore the fundamentals. They neglect strict typing, they skip database transaction, and they completely miss out abstraction. Those are the weak points that make a game fragile and unmaintainable. So I want to show you exactly how I solve this using my transaction service and economy service. Let's dive into the implementation line by line. So if you didn't know, abstraction is a way to don't repeat yourself, because if you have a function for the pets, the machine, like XP level for the machine, the pets, that just gonna make 200 lines of literally repeating. So that's why you need to make a generic function that handle everything. Okay, now let's dive into the scripts. Okay, so I use strict typing because strict typing is you just don't miss out the error with that. So now, because if I, you know what, let's make it example. If I can number here, okay, and I say it's a number, okay, but here I put a string, that's gonna underline. So that's why it's really useful, because you need to have a type, and for other things as preventing bugs. Okay, let's now. Here is the service type with we got the replica storage, the shirt, and then let's see the architecture. Okay, so it may be, I don't know, even for me, it may be hard at the first thing, but I made this. I think I made this about a week, like 3-4 days of work. Not that hard. But now let's dive it into the economy service, and now after we're gonna see the transaction service. Okay, now let's get the first function, the generic function, that currency. So a lesson that I want you to get if you're a beginner: a function should always return something or change the value in the table, because if it does nothing of that, then it's useless. Okay, so now here we get the player and the currency type. It's like the key to entering the profile data. So okay, okay, now, oh man, that's lagging. Okay, and here we just create a transaction. We're gonna see that after. But that's pretty everything. We just update the currency. It's a local function, so we can't use it in order to. We just use it here in the add currency, and move. Here we made currency type, amount number, and just the basic arguments that we need. And remember, so we just here puts a little subtraction. And now let's go into transaction service. Here, I should maybe made a type module, but I want to make it fast. It doesn't change anything. Okay. Here we just get the profile manager and just that, and the transaction here we said. So transaction should look like that. Okay. Transaction here looks like that. Needs to be a string, and needs to be a transaction with the player amount. Needs to be a table with the player, the amount, it needs to have that. Okay, and it's okay, just because that's a bit hard thing, but just we just said the key needs to be a string, and the inside the key needs to be transaction. And here the states, we will use state like pending, completed, failed, cancelled, giving, to just handle the situation perfectly. Here, those are the value we get the player. Maybe we could get the player user ID, but I prefer just getting the player. And we get the transaction ID. Pretty simple. Here we return transaction ID to get the ID, because we can't get the ID like that. Okay, and here pretty useful function, because we get the transaction by the player ID. Oh, player ID. Oh, oops. By just ID, by the transaction ID. So it was before. Okay, I didn't remember to change it. Okay, so here the maybe the main function of why we're using it is the function recovery transaction. So you may say, man, doesn't recover the transaction. I know, and that's why you should not use this system, because I didn't make the signal module. So the signal module is not, but it's a way to say, oh, econom, oh man, like it's like alarm, and so it gonna every subscriber you're gonna say, oh man, they publish. There's an event, so now you can run your function. And here we put us completed to remove it after. And add the multiple. Transition. So by the way, if you want, my commissions are open, and my commissions are open. My Discord username is in below, and you can just DM me if you want to hire me. I'm free right now, and if you have any question, you can tell in the comments. No problem. I will explain clearly and calmly. So here we remove the alt transaction to not have memory leak, because if we're gonna store too much transaction, we're gonna have memory leak at the end. And the max age is 5 minutes, which is 300 seconds. So that's pretty everything. That is the constructor, and that's it. So bye, and you can leave a comment if you want me to show a service like this is the level service, inventory service. That's pretty everything. Yeah, there's a lot of service. If you have any question, yeah. Bye, and if have a great day, good morning, great